believe we're now also live on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We are live on YouTube.
Woohoo. So if you haven't already done so, please change your username to your team name. That would help us as we're putting you into your
We're not on.
room.
We'll be on. But where are we? Susie.
So just a reminder to everybody to have your sound on mute.
Oh.
And welcome. We're so
The Rojos are there. All right, great, good.
You Rangers, love it. Team Miracles. Oh. Obrigado. Black Hawk. Hello, Bethel. Team Bethel, I see you. Team St. Anthony. Team Spider.
Yay for the Christmas hats.
If you have team members who have not yet logged in, do encourage them to log in as soon as possible.
Just getting everybody sorted into their small groups for breakout. Just take us another minute here. Welcome everybody, we're so glad to see you.
Sorry, just a little troubleshooting. Can you verify that the YouTube is connected properly?
I'm seeing it correctly on my side. And I can see it live from the parish.
Okay.
Are folks having trouble seeing it?
I'm just checking through my phone. It doesn't show up, but maybe it's my phone.
While we're waiting for everyone to come on, I just want to welcome everybody, and also just to say a big thank you to Katie and Father Carlos and to Amy as well. There's been a lot of work that's poured into tonight, and I hope that we have a lot of fun with it. It's been good. The first time we've done anything like this, so there's always a learning curve with stuff like this. So appreciate everyone participating and enjoying. So, and even just putting the questions together is quite an effort. So really appreciate that.
Amy, I'm actually not able to chat with you. If you could enable the chat. Here we go.
All right.
Okay.
Woohoo! Are we all settled? 7:30. We're still having people come in?
I think maybe we're still
No, we're good on the YouTube front.
we're good on the YouTube part. Sweet, awesome. Yeah, it's kind of like the sorting houses in Harry Potter, right? Like we got to put the hat on everybody and get them in the right group. And
You know, I've never watched Harry Potter.
no, how
I
have
know.
you never seen Harry
I
Potter? Padre, how have you never seen Harry Potter?
And-
This is like me not having ever seen Star Wars till last year.
Father Carlos, even I've watched Harry Potter.
That says a lot because you don't watch many things.
No, I don't. It was a really wet, boring Tuesday, and I watched Harry Potter.
Oh. Potter, I cannot believe you've not seen Harry Potter.
I did not.
I thought I was the one who always saw the movies last, but
Well, now we have Netflix in the rectory, so you know,
I
maybe
know,
you
but
can.
Carlos was just saying that. You guys got a Fire Stick?
Yes, we did. Yeah, I don't.
Very
For
good.
firsters who were watching, we didn't even have cable, so there was one night we were trying to watch the Seahawks, and you know the connection was kind of going in and out, and couldn't really watch the game. So
It was
Anyway.
funny because we have like this old school, not the antenna, but it's like a pad. It's like this big square pad thing. It's flat and it's on the wall. And we were trying to watch the Seahawks game. And Father Gary tried to go and adjust it. And once he got behind the TV, I was able to watch the game. So I'm like, stay there. Do it for
But
the
he was channeling the energy, right? The ontological change was making it so that he was getting better cable for you that night.
TV.
Well, folks, I think we're ready to go. So again, a huge welcome. We think this is going to be really fun. As Father Gary was saying, there's been pilots and trying to troubleshoot it and figure out. It's kind of surprising to me how many things could be involved in trivia, but we're really excited to be launching this. We miss you guys. That's kind of the big impetus behind this. We miss spending time together as a community. So we're hoping this can be kind of a fun thing that we figure out to be able to be together safely. Just a couple things to go over before we get started. Everybody got the rules and the login instructions. Could we at this point make sure everyone's name is changed to their team name? That's really, really important for us to make sure that everybody's name is changed to their team name. There's a link in the instructions if you don't know how to do that. Definitely check that out. Couple of things about tonight. This is the honor system, so no Googling. We're not all in a room together, so this is supposed to be fun, so let's keep it fun, no Googling. You're going to be talking through the answers in the break rooms. So there'll be a time, after we read the question, we will then send you guys into the break rooms. You will see a button to click on to enter the break room. Please click on that button as soon as possible because that just will make the process go a lot more smoothly. That's one of the things we found in the trial runs that we've done. So please do that. Once you have an answer in the break room, feel free to come back. You'll be automatically muted when you come back. So you can come back earlier if you'd like. For those who are joining us on YouTube, also a huge welcome. We're so glad that you're with us. On YouTube, we're going to actually, Father Gary and Father Carlos and I are going to kind of talk through some fun questions about the topic. So there won't just be dead space during that time. So, but the folks who are actually playing with us, you can go ahead and feel free to come back whenever you are ready. Or you can just wait until the break room will be automatically closed after 60 seconds. So whatever suits you there. Only the team leader will submit their answer to Amy Baumgardner in the chat. Okay, so Amy's our scorekeeper. Also, huge thank you to Amy. Amy's doing a lot of kind of the behind the scenes work on this, so thank you, Amy. So you'll submit your answer to Amy, who is going to keep track and be our official scorekeeper. through the private chat. So make sure you don't broadcast it to everybody, just to Amy.
Danny?
Yeah. So, and I think, I'm not sure who had the question. Maybe you can send your question to Amy and Amy can either send it to me or we can chat. Okay, and then so that you know, there are actual prizes. It's not just good feelings in Christmas time. So there's actual prizes tonight. So first prize are tickets to the aquarium for your team, as well as a really beautiful Marian artistic image that Father Carlos created. He's gonna Vanna White it for us right now.
And it's in a really nice, what do you call it? Wood panel. So each team member will get one of these. It's one of the drawings, one of my favorite drawings that I did a few years ago. So you'll get to get one of these.
So that's first prize. Second prize is everybody on the team gets a $5 gift card to Cold Stone Creamery for ice cream, which I believe you can still do during takeout. And the third prize is a $5 gift card to Starbucks. So there are actual prizes. I'm sorry, what did you say, Father Carlos?
Each individual.
Each individual, yeah. No, not just $5 for your whole team. One person gets a coffee and everyone else watches. No, each individual gets a $5 gift card. Okay, and then Amy, were there any questions that came through? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll figure this out as we go. Yeah, Sophie, go ahead.
I am not seeing the chat in my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, the chat is disabled, looks like.
So possibly we enabled the chat when we already began the stream. So you would have to end and then come back into the meeting, and that should enable your chat. So if you are the individual sending the answers, then go ahead and do that right now.
So if you're the team, yeah, we'll wait for you. So if you're the team captain, go ahead and exit and then come back in. And then we'll, again, thank you for your patience on this as we do this first time. So if you're the team captain submitting answers, go ahead and exit and then we'll admit you and then we'll just start in just another minute or so.
Yeah, sorry everyone for that. It was something that we discovered as we were, getting ready just a little while ago, that the chat feature wasn't working, and then we discovered how to get it working. So sorry about that. I say we, it's actually Father Carlos and Amy and Katie, not me.
And it was my fault. It was because of how I set up the meeting. But thank you everyone for being patient while we do that. So I think we're just admitting folks. Admit.
And if that worked, just give me a thumbs up, just to make sure that worked.
A lot of moving pieces here. So at this point, are there any team leaders who, let's see here, we've just got 2 more. There we go. Okay, are there any team leaders at this point who are not able to see the chat? Okay, then we should be good to go.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll turn the music off just here for a moment. Father Carlos, if you want to load your screen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to St. Louise Parish Trivia Night. We're very excited to have this opportunity to play along with all of you, see how smart our parishioners are, boom, and just have a good time of enjoyment. Once again, is there any other back in things?
We just need a minute just to reassign the captains that we just readmitted.
Great.
But in the meantime, Father Gary, what is your favorite Christmas song of all time?
A favorite Christmas song. How's it go? I'm trying to remember the title of it. It's ooh, I'm trying to. I can. Did you know? Oh, isn't it Mary? Oh, Mary, did you know? There it is. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Your baby. That's the one. Yeah.
And Father Carlos, you?
I really like Little Drummer Boy, especially the version from Pentatonics. The old. That's a really nice one.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I like the Pentatonics too. I like the mashup of Don't Worry, Be Happy and Winter Wonderland. That's not really a Christmas hymn. But I think my actual favorite Christmas hymn is maybe the First Noel, but it's hard to choose. But Father Carlos, I think we're good to go. So go ahead and start.
Blackhawks, yes, Pentatonics is pretty good. All right, so I'll now introduce our categories and how we will go ahead and play along. So our categories for our trivia night tonight is Too Cool for School or Pop Culture, Sophisticated Palate, which includes food and beverages, sports, Educated, which is general knowledge that will include science, history, literature, geography, and then Good Catholic. So that will include some questions regarding Catholic faith and history. So those are the categories that we have. The way we're going to do this is we're going to begin with Too Cool for School for 10. We will ask the question. Once the question is asked, you will be invited to join your breakout rooms. We ask that as soon as you get that invitation on your screen, click on it. Once everybody is in their breakout rooms, you're going to have 60 seconds to, as a team, discuss the answer. Once you're ready, you can come back in or just wait for the 60 seconds to end, and it'll bring you back to our main session automatically. Once you are back in, your team leader, go ahead and immediately send your answer to the chat. Make sure it's a private chat to Amy. After we have gotten all of the answers, then we will reveal the answer, and then we'll go on to the next question. Am I missing anything, Katie?
I think you're good. Yeah, let's play and have fun.
Woohoo! I know. All right, so here we go. Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Too Cool for School for 10 points.
Okay, so here's the question. What does the acronym SMH stand for?
Sweet. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Cue music.
As soon as everyone was in, I closed the rooms, correct?
Yes. But I think not everybody is back, or not everybody's in.
No, yeah, they're coming back already, so it's fine. All right.
Some are coming back already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Katie, what's the discussion question as we wait?
Okay.
Okay, discussion question. What is your favorite song of all time, Father Carlos?
Favorite song of all times? You know, one that really brings me up is Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Good one.
Yep, that's
a good
one.
Father Gary, how about you?
Oh gosh, you know, I wish I should have thought of this ahead of time. You know, I can think of the words and then I can't think of the title. So And now I'm having trouble even with the words. But there was one song.
Saying it, saying it.
Yes.
You're all
See, that's now my mind comes out. It kind of freezes up. So I'm sorry. I could think it. We sang it. I sang it in a when I was out at Mount Angel at a talent show, and I can't remember it, but it's a good song.
How about you, Katie?
My favorite song of all time, it's an older song, but my favorite song of all time is A Case of You by Joni Mitchell. And the lyrics slay me when I listen to it. I don't let myself listen to it very often, but
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Are all in?
Amy, are we good? Is everybody back?
I think I'm waiting for two.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good song. I really like songs that are the ones that, nostalgia is this powerful thing. And even though there's a lot of songs that are way older than my own generation, there's something about them that just causes a sense of nostalgia for me. And I really like those songs.
Yeah.
I
So like,
feel the same way.
yeah. So out of like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Once in a while, when Father Gary and I have dinner, I'll put in my oldies playlist. So a lot of the 60s, 70s, and 80s songs.
Yeah, we just sing along.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, I think we are all back.
Okay.
Woohoo! Are we ready?
Ready.
Father Gary, what is the answer?
So the answer, SMH, is a slang initialism mostly used in short text communication to convey disappointment, disapproval, frustration, or impatience. Other common initialisms are BRB for be right back and LOL for laughing out loud.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
So if you
Fancy.
did not get this answer, I'm SMHing right now. Shaking my head. Oh, very good.
Okay.
Here we go. Excuse me. Next category, sophisticated palate, food and beverages for 10 points.
Okay, this one is me. Other than water, what is the most consumed beverage? Other than water, what is the most consumed beverage? And it's not Diet Coke, which is what I normally drink, but go ahead. Okay, so Father Carlos, what was your favorite food growing up?
My favorite food growing up, it still is chilaquiles. Chilaquiles. It's this very typical, very simple breakfast food. All it is tortillas that have been fried and then simmered in a red or green sauce. Yes. Red sauce is the kind that my mom makes it with fried egg and other little things on top. Oh, it is the truth.
Delicious.
Katie?
Yes.
Oh, I can turn it. We were eating.
Oh.
Where is there a where on that question? Like where in the world?
Oh, just in general, what is the most consumed beverage?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Father Gary, how about you? What was your favorite food to eat growing up?
Well, when I think of that, and that it actually is around when the lights would go out, which happened quite a bit when I was growing up in Deming with windy storms and the way things were with the telephone wire, or I mean with electric wires. And my mother had this little grill that she could set up in the fireplace because, the electricity was off. So we'd build a fire and then we would cook hot dogs in the fireplace. And I think it's more of the memory than it is the taste, but I just loved it. Those hot dogs, they were the best hot dogs and the best memories. And we'd play games.
Aww.
I always, as a kid, I loved it when the lights went out because we had so much fun.
That's a really sweet story.
Yeah.
Mine is my mom used to make, especially in the summertime, but we used to have pasta con pesto. That was, I don't know why I associate that so strongly with my childhood. My aunt used to make pesto. That was the pesto that we would have, and it was amazing.
Your Aunt Carla?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, she was Italian, so no wonder. Yeah.
So it helped, but yeah, no, that was probably my favorite thing to eat growing up.
So for people who don't know, Katie's family grew up at St. Mike's Olympia, and so I knew the O'Neills when I was assigned there as a young priest, and Katie was one of my altar servers.
It is a very, very small Catholic world. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're all in.
Excellent.
So the answer is the most consumed beverage in the world is tea. Statistics show the growing consumption of tea is forecasted to reach 297 billion liters by 2021. Though China produces and consumes the most tea, the actual country that consumes the most tea per capita is Turkey. I would not have thought that.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So just a reminder to everybody, please put the answer in the chat just to Amy, not to everybody. So just to Amy on that one.
Excellent.
Okay, go ahead. Next up.
Excellent. Have you ever had that mango black tea?
Yes, that is
the
delicious.
truth. That is the truth. All right, here we go. Sports for 10. What famous boxer stated that he should be a postage stamp because that's the only way he would ever get licked?
Okay. So, Father Carlos, have you ever been on a sports team?
Yes, twice. I did track and field back in middle school, and I was okay at it. I did the 2-mile long distance. And then in high school, I tried soccer. Emphasis on tried. Not very good. I like running, and I do good with the physical aspect of it, but I don't do good with the physically competitive. I'm very competitive, but just not in sports. So I would panic when I would have the ball. I couldn't think what to do with it in time, so I would just kick it anywhere as long as I didn't have it. So I figured, yeah, it's not for me.
Not your sport. How about you, Father Gary? Were you ever on a sports team?
Oh yes, sure. Yeah, played Little League baseball. I didn't play too much in junior high or high school. But when I went to the seminary, both at Mount Angel, St. Meinrad, I played soccer at both schools, both in college and theology, and was on at St. Meinrad was also on the cross country team. So those were the sports that I played at that time. But I have to say, at both Mount Angel and at St. Meinrad, we were just horrible. St. Meinrad, I mean Mount Angel especially, because the little town of Mount Angel had a lot of Mexicans and a lot of Russians, and they would play on our field at the seminary. We were just, there was no hope. And of course, I didn't grow up playing soccer, nor did anyone else at that time in the 70s at Mount Angel. No one knew how to play soccer. So anyway, that's my history. Although I come from a very strong sports family, a lot of good athletes. My dad and my uncles, there were 9 brothers, and they had a semi-pro baseball team in the 50s. 1956, They got second in the nation when I was when my parents were engaged. Yep. So they were both in Faces in the Crowd and Sports Illustrated, and also made it in the Catholic National Register for when they got second in the nation.
That is so cool. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I mostly danced when I was a kid. I have zero hand-eye coordination, but I did in middle school. I played on the volleyball and basketball team in 7th and 8th grade, but mostly because it was social, not because I had God gave me other gifts. That was not among the gifts that I got.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all in.
Excellent. So who was that famous boxer? Well, if you said Muhammad Ali, you are correct. These sought-after stamps capture one of Ali's miracles when he beat the heavily favored undefeated George Foreman in 1974. Ali stunned the world and became the champ again. Three-time world heavyweight box champion, Olympic gold medalist, anti-war and civil rights activist. There will never be another like him. So, all
Very
right.
cool.
Before he became a Muslim, he was Cassius Clay.
Okay, next question.
Woohoo.
Okay, so I'm educated. Okay, so what disease stems from the medieval term that means bad air? So again, what disease stems from the medieval term that means bad air?
Okay, we'll see you guys in a few minutes. So
Find
speaking of educated, Father Gary, what was your favorite subject in school?
Ah, gosh, recess. Let's see. But as far as like studies, I think I liked history. Yeah. Really struggled with math. Math was not my strength.
Same. How about you, Father Carlos?
I really liked science, especially biology. So in high school, the high school that I went to offered 2 different AP biology classes, AP botany, of all things, and AP biology. And I was in both of them. Best classes I've ever took in grade school, in high school. How about you, Katie?
When I was in high school, my favorite classes were probably English because I really like reading. But I think that was because I went to public school and I didn't have the option to study theology. So definitely when I went to college, it was definitely theology and philosophy. But actually, fun fact, I actually double majored at St. Martin's in English, and my other majors in English literature, my first major was in theology. But so I can read the heck out of a Russian novel if we if that were a gift that were useful in any way to the world. Dostoevsky, I did read Dostoevsky. My favorite one though in college that I worked on was Anna Karenina. So I actually, one of the best papers I wrote in college was actually on Anna Karenina. That now seems like another lifetime ago. But Dr. Bailey, who is a beloved English professor at St. Martin's for decades, was my favorite teacher. I took a lot of classes with him at the St. So
very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Are we in?
We are in.
All right.
All right. Ready for the answer?
Go for it.
Okay, so the correct answer is malaria. Malaria. Early theories were that malaria was caused by bad air, or malaria in Italian, from marshlands. So it was later discovered that it was actually caused by a parasite transmitted by mosquitoes.
Interesting.
So there you go.
Malaria.
Malaria.
I have to say a funny thing. JT just texted me because I think he's watching, and he knows how annoyed I get about when people pronounce Olympia beer as Ollie. No, JT, it is not pronounced Ollie. It is pronounced Oli, and that is where the water is. So I have to say that. Little shout out to JT, who I think is watching on YouTube. It's a running inside joke.
All right. On to our next category. Good Catholic for 10 points. Katie, take it away.
Okay, good Catholic. Question. In a church, this is like my favorite church nerd word. In a church, what are bulbachets used for? Bulbachets.
Not bob aches.
Lynette Foster really likes to say the word bulbachet. She said every time at Christmas we start talking about it, or Easter time, we have fun with that word. So bulbachet. Okay, so good Catholic. Father Carlos, who is your favorite saint?
My favorite saint, I really like Saint Irenaeus, one of the very early saints. And one of my professors would always say, all theology is basically footnotes of Saint Irenaeus. He was really instrumental in systematic theology. Yeah. And I really think a lot of his insights are fundamental for how theology has developed in our tradition. And some of my biggest interests, Teilhard de Chardin being one of them. When I read Saint Irenaeus in Teilhard, I've never read anything about this, but I can see a lot of the similarities and correlations. So
good pick. That's a deep pick. How about you, Father Gary?
Well, if you would have asked me this question 4 or 5 weeks ago, I would have said St. Anthony of Padua, because that's my confirmation name, and patron of lost articles. I'm always losing stuff, so he's very helpful. But recently, I've been reading about St. Catherine of Siena, who is the only lay person in the history of the church who is a doctor of the church, meaning that she is like a theologian, but it all came from her prayer. And she was very much based on her a lot of her work was around freedom. It has a lot to do with some of the questions of today, really. So she was such a powerful influence in the church in her time, when women really had no place at all. And here she was, uneducated, and she had an amazing influence on society and church in her time. And if you read her, she really has a lot to say for our time. So that's who I would say, St. Catherine of Siena.
That's a good pick. Also, St. Catherine of Siena, straight up during the Avignon papacy, straight up went up to the Pope and said, "Don't make me talk to Jesus about you again," because the Pope was not doing what the Pope needed to be doing. Like, Catherine of Siena had guts. For sure.
She did. Yeah.
My favorite saint, it changes a lot, but my favorite one right now is Mary Magdalene, and has been for the last few years. And the reason is that she held the church within her heart, from the empty tomb to go tell the men that Jesus was risen. She wasn't believed, and they had to run and go see for themselves. So I have a special place for Mary Magdalene, who is not a prostitute. People always think that she was a prostitute, but in fact, that was a different woman in the Gospels. So love Mary Magdalene. Okay, I believe we're ready to go. Oh no, wait, hold on. Amy's got 1 more second on that.
Yeah.
This is a tough question, actually.
Yeah.
Until like 3 years ago, I don't think I would have known the answer to this.
Yeah.
It's really only because we have conversations about staff meetings about it that I know what it is.
Yeah, when I was debating whether to have it either early on as point number 10 points, or more like in the 40s.
It's a hard question unless
It's
you're
a tough question. Yeah.
really in deep nerd world in the church. Yeah. Amy, are we good to go?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Sweet.
Woo-hoo. Part of me kind of hopes it's like mustaches.
It's like what?
Mustaches. I had no idea what they were, and I think once I heard Lynette talking about this, and all I heard was ashes, and all I thought was mustaches. So I wasn't quite sure. And I figured, well, we have a long monastic tradition, so maybe it has something to do with monks and their mustaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their beards.
Father Carlos, when you mentioned St. Irenaeus, one of my favorite sayings is from him, which is, the glory of God is the human person fully alive, and the glory of the human person is God.
Okay.
I love that.
I don't want to interrupt because that's a really important thing to say. I just want to mention Amy's saying that 3 people have not submitted answers yet.
Oh, well,
So
it's a tough. I can believe that. It's just.
So
it's
take a guess, like submit anything in the chat, and then we'll be able to.
Yeah, it's only 10 points, so
only 10 points.
If it's wrong.
And it's not like Jeopardy where the points don't count negatively. You don't lose points if you get it wrong.
Correct.
So.
We're like we're merciful.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 3 of us. It's the team 3 of us have not submitted an answer yet. So if that last team will submit an answer, then we can get going. Okay. Amy, are we good to go? Sorry, back end management.
Excellent. All
Okay,
right.
we're good to go.
So, in a church, what are those?
The Baba Chase.
Katie?
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Yes, yeah.
I'm so busy watching the chat. I'm like, oh wait, sorry, that's me. Okay, bulbachets are the little plastic bulbs that we use that catch the wax from candlesticks in the church. And I guess they don't have to be plastic. It's anything that catches the wax. At St. Louise, they're plastic, but anything that catches the wax from candlesticks in the church. I think Lynette is watching. Lynette, that's a shout out with love to you. Keep that church floor clean.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
So here we go. Back to too cool for school for 20 points. Question. What was the first toy to be advertised on television? First toy to be advertised on television.
Okay. So, Father Gary, what is your favorite movie of all time?
Terms of Endearment.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good guess.
Yeah.
Very good.
I love the scene where Shirley MacLaine is pleading on behalf of her daughter to the nurses, and she just starts screaming, and then finally the nurses all jump to attention and do what she's asking, and she just says, "Thank you." After all this, throwing a temper tantrum. It's a great scene.
That is a great
Lots of wonderful wonderful emotions that are expressed in that movie. Great acting. I've always liked Shirley MacLaine.
Yeah. Interesting. Father Carlos, how about you? What is your favorite movie of all time?
So going back to nostalgia, the Stand By Me. It's one of my favorite movies. It, coming to age, any movie about coming to age, but that one in particular, for some reason, there's certain phrases of that movie that when I watched it as a teen really struck me, and since then it's been one of my favorite all-time movies, Stand By Me.
That's a good one. I have so many, and I have favorite ones in like different areas and different parts of my life, but I think the greatest piece of art I've ever seen in movies is Amelie. That's probably my favorite. And it's work because it's subtitles, but I love what it has to say about love and the human condition and all of that. My favorite religious movie of all time is Ben-Hur. I actually had a pretty profound religious experience watching that movie when I was a kid. My favorite funny movie is probably not appropriate to say on on a YouTube, but the main line from that movie is "The Dude Abides." So if you know the movie that line comes from, that's my favorite comedy of all time. The Robe. That's a good. Oh, I love The Robe too. That's a really good Easter season, like Holy Week Easter season movie to watch for sure too. Yeah, with Victor Mature and Richard Burton, I think is in that movie too. Yeah, I like all the old movies. Okay, I think we are all back in.
Woohoo! All right. So what was the first toy to be advertised on television? Now that would be Mr. Potato Head. That is right. And here I'm going to play for you a little bit of that commercial, that first commercial.
Hey, it's Hasbro. Hasbro makes toys. What's new, Hasbro? Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head with their own cars and trailers. That's what's new. See, Mr. Potato Head has a car and both trailers. And there's a car and shopping trailer for his wife, Mrs. Potato Head. That's fun to do and so easy. Like this. Take any fruit or vegetable. Just stick in eyes, then ears, and then the mouth. You can make the funniest looking people in the whole world. Potato Head people look different every time you make them.
So on April 30th, 1952, Mr. Potato Head became the first toy advertised on national television. Today, we are used to seeing a toy with a plastic potato body, but the first toy was just the face parts, and you would add them to real potatoes. So there you go.
Wow. Also, excellent use of a YouTube clip. That was really well done, Father Carlos.
Okay, next, sophisticated palate 420.
So here's the question for sophisticated palate. What is eaten traditionally in the UK on the day before Ash Wednesday? What is eaten traditionally in the UK on the day before Ash Wednesday?
So, Father Carlos, speaking of sophisticated palate, what is your drink at Starbucks?
I drink at Starbucks. I usually get, in the summer, I get a venti green tea lemonade, no sweetener. And then in the winter, I usually just get an Americano, add coconut milk.
But iced, right? Even in the winter, you do it iced?
Iced or hot, either way.
Depends.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Father Gary? What's your drink at Starbucks?
Gosh, well, I could go with almost anything, but I would say that a latte is usually my first choice.
Nice.
Yeah, summer or winter.
How about you, Katie?
So I drink hot coffee year round, even in the summertime. I drink hot coffee. I always get the darkest roast possible because I like the really dark roast with cream and Splenda. That's usually my go-to. If I'm getting like a treat coffee, like in the afternoon, I'll get an Americano with sugar-free vanilla and cream. But usually it's a dark roast. And I don't even get out of bed in the morning before my coffee. Like my coffee pot isn't on an alarm, and it's going before I even get out of bed in the morning. Okay, I think we are all back.
Excellent. Nope, not yet.
Oh, no, not yet.
Which people should know, I started drinking coffee a few months ago. I like coffee, but I've never drank it like every day. And now I have to drink it every day. So I went down that hole. And if I don't, bad things happen.
You don't feel good, right?
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead, Father Carlos.
All right. Father Gary, actually.
Yes.
Oh, Father Gary.
Yes. So what is eaten traditionally in the UK on the day before Ash Wednesday? Pancakes. So Pancake Day or Shrove Tuesday is the traditional feast day before the start of Lent on Ash Wednesday. It is the last opportunity to use up eggs and fats before embarking on the Lenten fast, and pancakes are the perfect way of using up those ingredients. It is a tradition that can be traced back to as early as 1439. So all the Christians at that time in England would have been Catholic. So yeah, that's a while ago. But interestingly enough, in Lent, a lot of times my mom would make pancakes on Fridays when we couldn't have meat, or actually any time of the year.
Funny story, Father Gary. When I was the youth minister at a different parish before I got to St. Louise, and every year my dad would come and make pancakes on the night we would teach the youth about what Lent was. And it was awesome. It was super fun, and the kids looked forward to it. Every year on the evaluations, that was the number. What was your favorite thing about youth group this year? Pancakes. Like with nothing else we did, that pancakes was the deal.
Yeah, great.
Excellent. All right, here we go with Sports 420. That'd be you, Katie.
Sports 420 is me. Okay. So again, a reminder just to submit your answer just to Amy in the chat. Okay, who is the most decorated Olympian of all time? Most decorated Olympian of all time. Okay, so Father Carlos, what is your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
I love track and field, so the racing. Oh man, that's hard. I really like track and field. I really like gymnastics, and I also like diving. So those three things. In yeah, but if I had to choose just one out of those three different fields, I'd probably go with track and field.
Okay. Father Gary, how about you? What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch?
Downhill skiing, the
Oh, of course.
racing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of
especially
that,
the
of course.
slalom course. I remember when I was learning to ski, my second year learning to ski at Mount Baker, near where I grew up, and part of it was we had to do a slalom course, and I remember the excitement of that. But and watching it is even more so.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think the most fun Olympics I've ever watched in my life were the 2008 Summer Olympics when Michael Phelps was the swimming champion that year. But I like to watch gymnastics too. I actually really think curling is super interesting. It's funny to me that somebody thought of an idea to do curling. It's really like fascinating to me. And I had a friend in grad school. We used to watch curling together. So yeah.
Okay, are we in? Go for it, Katie.
Okay, the answer is, I kind of gave it away. Michael Phelps is the most decorated Olympian of all time. He holds the all-time records for Olympic medals 28, Olympic gold medals 23, Olympic gold medals in individual events 13, and Olympic medals in individual events. And I think he beat, is it Mark Spitzer?
Mark Spitz.
Spitz. I was thinking Father Spitzer. Mark Spitz. Yeah, I think he was the one that he beat for that record.
Aha. Jeez.
Okay.
Okay. On to I'm educated. 420. The question is, what is the current era in the geologic time scale? What is the current era in the geologic time scale?
So I think, Father Gary, you might have already started talking about this, but what was your least favorite subject in school?
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, although a close second to that was chemistry. So in fact, for a long time, St. Louis parishioners, you might remember the Altenhofen family. And Kirk Altenhofen, the oldest of those 6 kids in that family, he was my classmate in the high school seminary at St. Edward's. And he saved me from flunking out of chemistry at St. Edward High School Seminary. So he didn't go on to be ordained a priest, although he will be ordained a permanent deacon next month together with Cesar from our parish. So anyway, Kirk, I've often told him the reason why God sent you to the high school seminary was to save my vocation. Otherwise, I would have flunked out.
Oh. How about you, Father Carlos? What was your least favorite subject in school?
My least favorite was physics. I didn't quite like physics.
Physics, man? That's hardcore.
It was part of it is mathematics hasn't been my strongest. I enjoyed the chemistry and the microbiology, but the physics, that was one of my least. My weaknesses.
Yeah, math was definitely my least favorite subject. Although I like algebra 1 and geometry, but once I got to algebra 2, I was done. And so, yeah, I could do like the first part of chemistry that was just the like canceling the equations, but once the math got more complicated, I was out. Was not my jam. Although I graduated from, I had to take one math class to graduate from St. Martin's, and it was called Math and Modern Culture, and it was literally the math for non-math majors. And it was literally figuring out, like, I got an A in this class, and it was literally like, what is the fairest way to divide pizzas and what is voting theory? I mean, it was like, but I was like, I don't care, I passed it. I can move on with my life, no more math.
I really like the comment that somebody just put, pandemic era.
Pandemic era. That's great. That's very good.
Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay, so what is the current time? We are in the Cenozoic era. It is the third of the major eras of Earth's history, beginning about 66 million years ago and extending to the present. It was the interval of time during which the continents assumed their modern configuration and geographic position, and during which Earth's flora and fauna evolved towards those of the present.
Interesting.
Cenozoic. Cenozoic. Really? Okay. On to Good Catholic 420.
Okay, Good Catholic for 20. And the question is, the miraculous medal was manifested to which saint? And I actually have a miraculous medal right here. So there it is, the miraculous medal. Oops, got to get to the camera. There it is. So the miraculous medal. Which saint is manifested the miraculous medal?
So, Father Gary, what is your favorite scripture passage, or do you have a favorite scripture passage?
Yes, and I always, well, I have several. But anyway, the one that just immediately came to mind right now is eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it even dawned upon us what God has prepared for those who love him.
Beautiful. How about you, Father Carlos?
The first one that I learned as a teenager when I was beginning to take my faith seriously, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Became my anthem as a teenager, and has a special meaning for me.
I have a couple. One that's kind of a family one that my grandfather was a conference minister for the United Church of Christ, and in his office and wherever he was, he always had Romans 8:38-39, and it's my mom's favorite, and it's every funeral and wedding in our family that passage is always read, and it's there's nothing. Paul lists a bunch of stuff, and then there's nothing you can do to separate you from the love of God, which is Jesus Christ. So that's kind of one I grew up with. That was the theology I learned at my mother's knee, so to speak. So I love that one. But as an adult, I've been chewing on John 15:1-16 for about 15 years. And I always pray when I get to heaven that God will make that clear to me, like make me understand it, like be able, if we see with different eyes when we're in heaven, then that's the thing I most want to understand is that passage. And so, but it's definitely my favorite. It's one that keeps me awake and keeps me thinking and all that. So
very nice. Okay.
Are we good?
Listos. So the miraculous medal was manifested to which saint? Saint Catherine Labor. So in November 1830, Saint Catherine had a vision of Mary where she showed herself inside an oval frame standing upon a globe with rays of light coming from her hands toward the globe. Around the frame were the words, "O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee." Mary asked Catherine to take these images to her father confessor, telling him they should be placed on medallions. All who wear them will receive great graces. At first, the priest did not believe Catherine, but after 2 years, he brought her story to the archbishop. And the Archbishop had 2,000 medals struck, and the medals were dispersed so rapidly and effectively that it was said to be miraculous, hence the term miraculous medal. So there it is, miraculous medal,
Neat.
St. Catherine Lavore.
Nice. Back to Too Cool for School, pop culture for 30. Take it away, Katie.
Finish the next Adele line. Hello, it's me. What's the next part of that phrase? Hello, it's me. Okay, so Father Carlos, what is your favorite TV show of all time?
My favorite TV show.
That's a hard one. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm like, okay, what's your favorite TV show that you've watched in like the last 2 years?
Oh. Recent Parks and Rec.
Ooh, good pick.
That's a good, like, feel good one. Going back to my theme of nostalgia, the Wonder Years. So those two.
How about you, Father Gary? What's your favorite TV show of all time?
The first one that came,
watch TV.
the first one that came to mind was Batman. I just love the song. I love the song. I love the story. I had a Batman costume when I was a kid. Da 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 Batman. I just like it. But probably after that, our family loved to watch MASH when I was before I went to seminary. Yeah.
And the funny thing is about MASH is that MASH holds up. It's one of the only shows from that era that really still really holds up. Well, I always say I think the best TV show ever made is Breaking Bad. I don't know that it's actually my favorite to watch because it's so intense.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a good one. During the pandemic, and I've kind of been like trying to keep my spirits up and stuff, I've been watching really kind of like fun light shows. So I've watched New Girl. I had seen parts of it before, but I actually watched it all the way through. And that's a show that definitely gets better, like season 2, 3, 4. But yeah, right now I'm pretty much just watching Christmas movies. So there's lots of good shows. There's a show that it sounds like a bad word, so I won't say it, but Something Creek. I think that show is incredibly beautiful and well made. It's a German spelling of a last name that sounds like a bad word, but that's one of the best shows I think I've seen in the last 2 years.
Got everyone back.
Yay!
Ready?
Okay, so the next phrase of hello, it's me is I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet. The song by Adele, Hello, was released at October 23rd, 2015. Quickly became viral, victim of many memes.
Hello, it's me. Grumpy cat? No. Most people, myself included, I always say, I've been wondering if after all these years, but it's I was wondering.
I had to read that twice actually because I thought the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Sophisticated palate, food and beverage, 430. Here we go. Your question is, what was the name of the Benedictine monk who invented champagne? Who was the Benedictine monk who invented champagne?
So, Father Carlos, what is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
The strangest thing I've ever eaten was when I was in Georgia doing an internship. I got to eat alligator, American alligator. It was fried with a lot of spices, and there were small bite sizes. And it was in a Cajun sauce. So the meat itself didn't really have much of a taste. It's a little rubbery and tough, mildly fishy, but when they dress it up with all the other things, it was delicious. Mhm.
That's awesome. Father Gary, how about you? What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
It was when I was on sabbatical in Italy, and my brother and sister-in-law came to visit for a couple of weeks. And we went out to this restaurant in Rome, and we looked at the menu, and it was the title of it was Specialità del Sabato Notte. So I thought, oh, special of Saturday night. That sounds really good. Yeah, let's do that. It was tripe, and it was really rubbery, and it was so the opposite of what we're expecting. So anyway, that's what comes to mind when I think of it. But I also think of when I was at St. Meinrad and not eating things that I'd ever been used to, like turtle soup and catfish and just a lot of southern foods, black-eyed peas, things I've never had before. So yeah.
So both turtles and catfish I have as pets downstairs. So you're not to go downstairs.
Well, don't let Archbishop H-in at them, because he'll make them into food. He's from Southern Indiana. Katie, how about you?
I'm not a super adventurous eater, so I would say probably sushi. And I was a lot older than most people are when they eat sushi, which I actually really liked. But yeah, I've never eaten like when I think of strange, I think of like odd meat, and I'm like wouldn't have done it. I did watch Father Gary eat a bowl of crickets when we were in Mexico.
Oh yeah,
and
they're good.
I have pictures of that. So.
All right, we good? Are we doing? Please tell us for the answer. One more. Okay. Yeah, alligator. Although, Father Gary, you've had tripe again, menudo.
Yeah, but menudo's different. This was really tough, and the flavor was awful.
Yeah, I would not enjoy it. Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, menudo. I like menudo, but this was not good. No.
Okay.
It was more what we were just expecting something to be really creamy and good and warm and like comfort food, and it was not. Yeah.
Okay, are we ready now? Yay! All right, so who was that Benedictine monk? If you said Dom Perignon, you are correct. So Dom Pierre Perignon was a French Benedictine monk born in 1638. After being transferred to a new abbey, he worked in the wine cellar, where his work became crucial to the perfection of the champagne making process. Wow. So he didn't invent it per se, but he did help make that process to perfect champagne. So it's attributed to him. Right. Dom Perignon. Sports 430.
Okay, here it is, Sports 430. What was Babe Ruth's first name? What was Babe Ruth's first name?
Okay, so Father Gary, Super Bowl or World Cup?
For favorite, you mean?
Yeah.
I suppose Super Bowl. Yeah, I haven't really followed the World Cup so much. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Father Carlos, Super Bowl or World Cup?
I grew up with the World Cup, but then once Seahawks began to win, then emphasis became Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if Mexico's ever to do better at soccer, because they haven't done so good in the past, I don't know how many years, then maybe the inclination will go back to World Cup, but as of now, Super Bowl.
So I'm not really into sports, but I would say definitely Super Bowl, definitely when the Seahawks were in. I was definitely watching it. Fun fact about that, I scheduled a confirmation retreat for that weekend. February 2000, what was that?
14.
And And I got sick on that retreat too, so I like thought I was gonna die, and like all the parents were super mad at me that I didn't look at the calendar. And that's now for sure one of the first things I check on my calendar. But I scheduled it in August, and I didn't even know this. Anyway, I learned that lesson. But that was a fun. That was with Father Brian Oakes, Father Gary.
Wait, gosh,
he
Father
and
Brian
I
Oakes,
had-
and he didn't catch that? Oh my gosh.
No, because I don't think he looked at the calendar before which wouldn't have been his job.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
That was my job.
he's a
It's huge, not over. Yeah. And so anyway, he and I had some good laughs about the fact that
so Father Brian Oakes was newly ordained and was assigned to me when I was in Renton, and he was just huge sports fan, knew everything about every sport. I remember sitting, and he was surfing the different sports channels, and he landed on boxing, and he was talking about the two boxers. He knew everything about them. Then he switched the channel, and he said, but I really don't like boxing that much. It's like, then how do you know so much about it?
yeah, we had a good laugh about the fact that I scheduled a confirmation retreat for the weekend the Seahawks were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right. Go in. Excellent. Padre, take it away.
Okay. So, also known as the Bambino and the Sultan of Swat, George Herman Babe Ruth Jr. was born on February 6th, 1895, and played outfielder and pitcher for the New York Yankees. He died August 16th, 1948, and is buried at the Gate of Heaven Cemetery in Hawthorne, New York. Just a little fun fact about my family. My dad, his nickname was Yog, and that was because he looked like Yogi Berra. So that, another New York Yankees. And a lot of people that worked for him did not know his real first name. They just don't know him as Yog. His real first name was Jake. Yeah.
Also, go Red Sox.
Yeah.
When you say Yankees, go Red Sox. Okay.
And also, just as a fun fact, Lou Gehrig, another Yankee, is David Gehrig's great uncle, if you didn't know that.
Ah, okay. On to Educated, 430. Take it away, Katie.
Okay. What American author wrote adventure stories such as The Call of the Wild and White Fang? So, okay. So this is on the topic of I'm educated. Father Carlos, who is your favorite theologian?
My favorite theologian, goes back to my favorite saint, right? Saint Irenaeus. But if I was to then talk about more recent, then of course, that's a hard question for me to answer. There is no perfect theologian, but there's a lot who have contributed so much. But I'm really inclined to both Teilhard, of course, and I don't know if you consider him a theologian, René Girard. He did a lot of work in theology, but he wasn't a trained.
Girard's a theologian. Girard's a theologian. Yeah.
René Girard.
Yeah. Father Gary, how about you? Who's your favorite theologian?
Hans Urs von Balthasar, and
Really?
yes,
You're a Balthasar guy.
yeah, and especially there was something that was just really significant that he said about the Trinity that I found so helpful. So he, well, I don't want to go into because I probably will run out of time before everyone's back. But he presented a human image of the Trinity of especially Jesus going to the cross, and the Father going to the Son and saying, "Hey, we've tried everything, nothing's working. Would you be willing to do this?" And Jesus saying, "Oh, not my will, but your will be done." That whole struggle. And then the Holy Spirit helping to sustain Jesus as he was on the cross. So that presentation of the Trinity, I just found very helpful, and I've liked him ever since.
I had 100 guesses. I wouldn't have guessed von Balthasar, but that's really cool. I think that's really neat. Mine is not who you would think, because I spent an entire decade of my life reading Karl Rahner. It's not Karl Rahner. My favorite theologian of all time is Augustine.
Augustine.
And the
Yeah.
more I read Augustine and listen to Augustine and live with Augustine, he had some complicated things and he was of his time, which is challenging, but his stuff on the Trinity, his stuff on nature and grace especially is the deal for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listos? Woo.
Okay.
All right. So Katie, who is it?
Okay, I get so caught up in our conversation, I forget that I'm on. I'm sorry. The answer is Jack London. Jack Griffith London died 1916, was an American novelist, journalist, and social activist, a pioneer of commercial fiction and American magazines. He was one of the first American authors to become an international celebrity and earn a large fortune from writing.
Wow.
Ew. All right.
Cool.
Next category. Good Catholic. 430. The question is, during the singing of the Exalted at the Easter Vigil, what insect is extolled?
So, Father Gary, what is your favorite liturgical season?
Oh, well, yeah, I would say definitely Holy Week. Yeah, yes, hands down.
Father Carlos, how about yourself? What's your favorite liturgical season as a baby priest?
Yeah, stole mine because that's where I had my conversion experience during Holy Week. Yeah. How about you?
So I would say Holy Week, but actually, I almost think the Easter season now, it used to always be Holy Week. And I had a significant conversion experience during Holy Week too. But now I think it's Easter, and especially the Easter octave and, you know, all of the sequences and I don't know, the empty tomb. It's more Easter now than it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, Holy Week, I mean, especially Holy Saturday is very special to me.
Yeah. Hopefully we can celebrate it more in a normal way this in 2021.
It was so odd. I think we're still waiting for some folks to come in. I feel like this last year it was like I was sitting and watching it on TV. I was like, how is this what my, Holy Saturday experience is? It's so odd, but it'll definitely be historic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ready?
Ready? No, not yet.
Not yet. Kidding. Just kidding.
No, one year I spent Holy Week at St. Meinrad in Indiana, where we went to the seminary, and it was beautiful praying with the monks. But one thing that they used to do, I don't think they do it anymore. But they, oops, why are we getting feedback? Anyway, they used to split the liturgy, the word. They would do it at night, and then the monks would keep vigil in the church and conclude with the liturgy of the Eucharist in the morning. So like at 5 a.m. So it was kind of a different way of it really extended Easter Vigil. Mm-hmm. So, got everyone.
All right. So what insect will it be? If you said bees, you are correct. So the original Latin version of the Exalted, which is the hymn proclamation of Easter, twice blessed bees because it was their wax, the beeswax, which was made to form the Easter candle, which in turn represented the light of Christ dispelling darkness. So there you go. In this is the work of beasts and of your servant hens, an evening sacrifice of praise. For it is fed by melting wax drawn out by mother bees to build a torch so precious. Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was the original translation, huh?
Yeah.
That's not what you use today.
No. It's the original Latin.
You know why you're not singing it, Father Carlos?
All right, bees. go. On to Too Cool for School, Pop Culture 440.
Okay, so here it is. What modern day item came from a cameo in the final season of Game of Thrones? What model day item came from a cameo in the final season of the Game of Thrones?
Made a cameo.
Made a cameo, I should say.
Okay, so Father Carlos, what is a movie that really affected you?
A movie that
changed you.
really affected me. Changed me.
I have one I can share. Gandhi. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Gandhi. But I was at St. Margaret Seminary when that came out, and I remember coming home because I saw it in the evening, obviously, and came home pretty late at night, and I went straight to we had a Blessed Sacrament chapel, and I went there and I just cried about the power of that movie and his testimony of life. So that movie really touched me deeply.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Father Carlos? Do you have one?
I can't. My brain isn't. Kind of following. I'm gonna mimic Father Gary, different movie, but in the same line. The one that I remember really impacting me, and I felt weird afterwards, was Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, yeah.
And there's one line in there where the camera guy says, "It's not gonna make a difference if this goes out in the world sees. People are gonna look at the TV screen as they're having their dinners, say, 'Oh, isn't that horrible?' Then go back to eating their dinners, and nothing will change." Oh, that was yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Katie?
I have a lot. I'm really actually impacted by movies a lot. That shapes the way I see the world. But actually, the Adult Faith Formation Committee decided to show, I think it's just called Francis. What's the new documentary on Netflix about? Oh, isn't it just called Francis? I can't remember. Anyway, Francis. It's a documentary where he gives the long interview. It's like an hour and a half of him talking. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because we were showing the movie and, I'm at work or whatever. And I all of a sudden was like really overcome with emotion. And kind of there'd been a lot of stuff about, it had been a hard year for the church and all of that. And I watched that movie and I was like, oh, this is how I felt in 2013 when he was elected. And I love Pope Francis so much. I'm so moved by his simplicity and his poverty and his leadership and his relationship with Christ and all of that. And that all came through in that documentary. Yeah. And that's a more recent one I've seen that really impacted me.
Yeah. Someone asked, 2 popes? No, that wasn't a documentary. That's a work of fiction. It's a beautiful work of fiction.
Beautiful movie. But yeah. I think the movie is called, it's just called Francis.
Francis, a man of his word or something like
that? A man
that?
of his word. That's it. A man of his word. That's it.
We got everyone.
Just quick. The previous question about the insect, somebody said praying mantis probably should be the correct answer. Love it. All right, we ready?
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right, Father Gary, what is it?
Okay. Oh, yes. A Starbucks cup. Someone in the crew forgot to pick up their Starbucks cup from the main table before shooting the scene. And lo and behold, there it appeared unmistakably for the world to notice.
Here it is. Starbucks cup. Amidst goblets in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Here's Starbucks. Okay. On to sophisticated 440.
Okay. This is my favorite scent of all time. What type of flowers produce vanilla pots? What type of flowers produce vanilla pots? Okay. Father Carlos, hot dog or pizza?
hot dog.
Really, man?
LA style hot dog because they're wrapped in bacon. They've got pico de gallo. They're decked out. They're delicious. They're
Oh.
decked out.
Father Gary, how about you? Hot dog or pizza?
Well, before that, that description, pizza definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely would say pizza. I actually strongly dislike hot dogs. Like even as a kid, I don't like hot dogs, so definitely pizza. But my favorite pizza, Father Gary, I don't know if you know this spot, is in Olympia, and it's called Dirty Dave's Gay 90s Pizza. That's the best. That's the best pizza. I used to, my friend Brother Elred and I, when I was his student, we used to go there and they put cashews on the pizza, and it's super thin crust. It's like practically saltine cracker thin. Like, so it's all about like the toppings and stuff, and delicious. But yeah, not like once a year maybe I'll have a hot dog, but it has to be barbecued. It has to be burnt. And like I don't think I've had a hot dog in like 5 years even. Not my favorite.
LA style.
But if you put pico on it, that would maybe be a little more up like that I could see.
And it's bacon wrap.
Yeah, and I'm not a big bacon fan either.
Boo.
I know. I'm that girl.
All right, ready? Nope,
Not yet.
Okay. Although if I had to choose between like Chicago style pizza, because I lived in Chicago for 4 years, and New Yorker style pizza, I'd go New York.
Same. Also, crazy thing about pizza on the East Coast, it's like half the price. Like I lived in Boston for a long time. I could not believe how much cheaper. It's like $10 for a huge pizza. And New York, I guess it's even cheaper. But I don't know, for whatever reason up here, it's a lot more.
Okay, we got everyone.
All right, Katie, what would it be?
Okay. Answer is what type of flowers produce vanilla pods? Orchids. There are 100 species of orchids that produce vanilla, but the vanilla orchid used most widely is called Vanilla planifolia and is native to Mexico.
You're welcome, world.
Yeah, vanilla is for real like my favorite of all time.
Excellent.
Favorite everything.
Sports for 40. The question is, what country won the very first FIFA World Cup in 1930?
Okay, Father Carlos, do you miss the Sonics?
I do miss the Sonics. I was a kid. My first jacket when I came to the US was a Sonics jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Neon turquoise aqua. Gary Payton was my favorite player. I wasn't a big player myself, but I enjoyed the Sonics, and I remember I learned that Gary Payton was actually really tall, but compared to the other players, he looked really short. Anyways.
How about you, Father Gary? How do you feel about the Sonics?
Well, yes, I do miss the Sonics. I hated all the kind of politics that have gone around. It became very clear with the Sonics departure with professional sports. It just seems like that's professional sports has lost something, I think, in terms of really being focused on community at times. So anyway, I'm sure someday we'll get a professional basketball team back, but the whole thing about the politics around their move to Oklahoma City is just didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth for sure.
I don't know how aware I was of that at the time, but it's like old school Seattle, and I like that. I remember watching the Sonics in the finals and stuff as a kid, and thinking that was really cool. But I don't know that I have super strong feelings. If I were going to pick a basketball team, I would definitely pick the Celtics. And I feel like I'm from Olympia, so that's sacrilegious for me to say, but that's when I watched basketball, was when I was in Boston. So
yeah. The
but
Sonics player coach. Do you remember the Sonics player coach, Lenny Wilkins? He actually was a member of Sacred Heart Parish in Bellevue.
Oh, that's cool. That's super cool.
Excellent. Ready. Oh, that was me. So what was it? If you said Uruguay, you are correct. So in 1930, the first ever FIFA World Cup was played between Uruguay and Argentina. Uruguay won 4-2.
Wow.
1930.
1930.
Okay. I'm educated. General knowledge 440.
Okay. So what are the names of the 4 U.S. presidents who have been assassinated? What are the names of the 4 U.S. presidents who have been assassinated?
Okay, Father Gary, what is a country you would like to visit?
Australia.
Ah.
Yeah, like to go down under. Yeah. I love Australian accents. Especially no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, Father Carlos, how about yourself? What's a country you would like to visit?
Brazil, Amazon.
Mm.
I love the Amazons. Most of my fish tanks are Amazon themed. I have a bunch of different pythons from the Amazon. So rainforest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I experienced the Amazon in Peru when I was there.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
the Peruvian Amazon.
Yeah.
Mm.
How about for you, Katie?
I can't believe this is still true, but I have never been to Rome, and I really want to do that.
Oh yeah, Italy is wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Really
Rome is great, but really the place to go in Italy is Assisi for Catholics.
Yeah.
Rome has got a lot of great things, but Assisi that's a spiritual experience, really, to go to.
I would love to do that too. I would really like to go. I have a dear friend who is kind of an expert in Roman history, and I would really like to go with him to walk through all the places and spaces. And we talked about that for years, and it hasn't happened yet. But
yeah,
I also have a bucket list. I don't know how this will happen, but before I die, I'd really like to do the Camino, or at least do part of it in Spain. Just to have that experience, but we'll have to see. God will have to make clear how that would open up.
Yeah.
At some point. I think Amy's going to take just another minute scoring on this one. Carlos, what's the second place you would like to visit?
Second place is Borneo.
I don't even know where that is. Where's Borneo?
Borneo, it's Southeast Indian islands. There are a bunch of really awesome exotic carnivorous plants, pitcher plants, that can only be found in Borneo, which I find fascinating. So, Borneo.
Wow.
Although now that I'm thinking about it, also Ethiopia also. In evolutionary biology, Ethiopia is seen as the birth of humankind, and I would love to see the great Barren. I don't know what they call it, where they find a lot of the fossils of really early hominids. So
the cradle of life, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool.
When I was still in the seminary, a classmate of mine, he's originally from Hays, Kansas, and he came to visit me one summer, and he had never been outside of the United States. So we were up at Deming, and so he said, well, let's go to Vancouver. And as soon as we crossed the border, he said, wow, I can already tell it's a foreign country. And of course, I grew up, going back and forth on the border. It was like, what's so different? Oh, the architecture's different. It just seems different. It's different,
Well, I think we're good to go.
All right.
Okay, so the 4 sitting presidents who have been killed: Abraham Lincoln, that was in 1865; James A. Garfield, that was in 1881; William McKinley, 1901; and John F. Kennedy on November 22nd, 1963. It's my that assassination was my first clear memory. I was 5 years old. Additionally, 2 presidents have been injured in attempted assassinations. Theodore Roosevelt in 1912. He was a former president at the time. And I didn't know about that one. And Ronald Reagan in 1981. And you might remember that he was, there was attempted assassination in the very same year. So was Pope John Paul II. And actually, both of them were very close to death from that.
All right. Good Catholic for 40.
Okay. What famous philosopher wrote books taking titles from the New Testament, such as The Sickness Unto Death and Fear and Trembling? Okay. Father Gary, what do you most look forward to in the post-COVID Mass?
The post-COVID Mass, being able to sing out loud. Yeah, definitely. Especially like Father Carlos and I were at the Mass for Nuestra Señora de las Americas, for, Guadalupe, but it's really for Our Lady of the Americas. And those songs, it was like, you can't sing them. They're beautiful to listen to, but I want to sing them.
Father Carlos, how about yourself? What are you most looking forward to in a post-COVID Mass?
Post-COVID Mass. Gosh. Being able to get close to people outside.
Yeah.
Both, the handshakes. I'm a big hugger, and there's parishioners who are also big huggers, and I miss that. So just physical contact. I think I need a hug.
How about for you, Katie?
So I was going to say hugging parishioners. I hate right now especially when I'm working hospitality and I see people and I'm like, and I can't.
Yeah.
So I think hugging people, being close to people, but Father Gary, I didn't even think about music. Music is it. I'm missing singing so much.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a close second for me. But I don't know if Anne Bashir is watching, but I can't wait post-COVID when we're all vaccinated to give her a big hug.
Yeah. As a pastor, I probably should have said collections.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right. Are we on? Nope, not yet. Okay. That's kind of a hard one.
Yeah. Or even not just hugging people, just being able, I'm so maybe overly aware of trying to, I feel like people are walking toward me and I'm like backing up and I'm like, that's not who I am at all. Like in life in general, I'm normally the most affectionate person. And yeah, so just being able to be natural with people again, I think is what I'm most looking forward to.
Okay, we got everyone.
Go for it, Katie.
Okay. The answer, where did it go? I know it's Kierkegaard, but where did it go?
Yeah.
Okay. The answer is Soren Kierkegaard, Danish philosopher. Soren Kierkegaard was a prolific philosopher, most known for his writings on anxiety, despair, melancholy, irony, and introspection.
Okay.
Supposedly Kierkegaard would be out all night, like he would write all night, and then during the day he would be out, like he never slept. Apparently.
Never slept.
That was one of his deals, was he would just be out with people all day long and partying at night, and then he would write all night, apparently.
Yes.
All right. Too cool for school. These are the big ones. 50. Here we go. Finish the next line of the Beatles song, Hey Jude. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. ...
Okay. Father Carlos, what is your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Father Gary?
Oh gosh, my mind is going blank. It's that classic Christmas Story. Can't remember it.
A Christmas Carol?
No. No. I'm even trying to think of it. Oh well, it's in black and white. Some people watch it every year. It's
Oh, George Bailey.
yep, that's it.
I just watched that 2 weeks ago. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
I love that one too. My favorite Christmas movie of all time, and some people might fight me on it, but it is a Christmas movie. My favorite Christmas movie of all time is the 1993 Winona Ryder version of Little Women. I absolutely love that movie, and all of the Christmas themes in that movie. That's my favorite, like more like serious Christmas movie. But I love Ralphie. We grew up, we watched A Christmas Story every year, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love the 1933 version of A Christmas Carol. I just watched that 2 nights ago, and it's haunting. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. My new favorite one, it just came out a couple years ago. For anybody with kids, I think The Star is one of the better representations of Luke 2 that exists in film, period. It's really theologically well done. And also just like a good kid movie too. I would highly recommend The Star.
All right, so finish the next line. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. So the Beatles released their single Hey Jude in August 1968. It was actually written to comfort John Lennon's son, Julian, during the divorce of his parents. So here we go. Sophisticated palate, food and beverages for 50.
All right. Pulque is a beer made from what? Pulque is a beer made from what?
Father Gary, what is your favorite dessert?
Oh, wow. Gosh. Well, there are so many to choose from. It's probably whatever one I'm eating, but one that goes a memory. My mom was a really good baker. She doesn't bake so much now, but my favorite pie that she would make was strawberry rhubarb. And she'd make it when we had rhubarb and strawberries that were ripe from our garden. And the fresh rhubarb, the fresh strawberries, my mom just knew how to make a wonderful crust. Oh, man. That with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, primo.
Father Carlos, what is your favorite dessert of all time?
Favorite dessert of all time is churros with hot Mexican chocolate. Churros. Whenever we went to Disney with my sister about 10 years ago as adults, and every churro stand that we found,
hot churros.
Yep, we got churros. So good.
The good thing at Disney is you walk all day, so in theory you're walking off the churros while you're consuming them.
Exactly.
My favorite dessert of all time, and it's not a sophisticated one, I like Duncan Hines chocolate cake, Devil Foods chocolate cake with vanilla ice cream, which is not a sophisticated answer. There's probably more sophisticated answers I could give than that one, but my mom made that for our birthdays when we were, because it's her favorite too. So that's probably my favorite.
I like this comment from Team Black Hawk. Our ends are getting so bad that our goal at this point is to just make Amy laugh. All right, we ready?
Ready.
Oh, not quite. Not quite.
Not quite. No, don't have it yet. Okay.
Yeah, those churros at Disney are like that smell. If we could figure out how to like bottle that smell and sell it, that's a happy smell. Yeah. You guys went as adults, Father Carlos, without the kids, or did you bring the kids too?
Oh no, 10 years ago we only had one nephew then. So it was me and my other sister. All right, so pulque. What is pulque, Padre?
Okay, pulque is an alcoholic beverage made from the fermented sap of the maguey or agave plant, This plant has actually had many uses, and this is the one that I would know is tequila, and beer, to sweet syrup, and to the making of the tilma of Juan Diego, in which is the image of Our Lady Guadalupe that is still visible. And that's why one of the reasons why it's that tilma, it should have just fallen apart many centuries ago, but it's still in place. And it's survived a couple of disasters as well.
Yeah.
Bombing, fires.
Fire.
Yeah.
So look, pulque, you've got what? Vanilla, chocolate, avocado. You're welcome, world.
All the good things that we like come from Mexico.
All right, here we go. Sports for 50. Go on. Go for it, Katie.
Oh, sorry.
Page 3.
Okay. Okay, sports for 50. Who was the only person in NBA history to be named the most valuable player, coach of the year, and executive of the year? Okay. Father Gary, did you ever attend a sporting event in the kingdom?
Oh, yes. Seahawks game when I was a freshman at St. Thomas Seminary. So that would have been in the fall of 1976. So I think that was their second season. Numerous baseball games. I actually went to the playoff game in 1996, I think it was, with Mariners and I forget now who. But anyway, that was a great memory. The Mariners won. It was that was an outstanding season for the Mariners, and I could go on about stories about that particular game, but we don't have time. But yes, so numerous times in the kingdom. Yep.
Father Carlos, did you ever attend a sporting event in the kingdom?
I did. I went there twice. One to watch a Seahawks game. I think I was at like 11. And then in 5th grade, we got a chance to go. A lot of the public school kids, elementary school kids, were taken to the kingdom to meet the Seahawks at that time. And they got to autograph our little magazines that we had of the Seahawks. And so that was fun. So.
How about you, Kitty?
I feel like I must have. I have no memory of having ever gone to the kingdom, but I feel like I must have at some point. I know we went to the Seahawks. My dad took us to the Seahawks when the year they played at the UW Stadium, and like tickets were like very, very inexpensive at that point. And I feel like that was like the late 80s or early 90s. But yeah, I don't think I ever went to the kingdom.
Okay. Well, there was one memory that came back to me of going to a Mariners game at the Kingdom, and it was Whatcom County Day at the Kingdom. So a bunch of people from Whatcom County, which is where I grew up, went, and my dad and all my uncles, they were all living then, and so they were honored at that game, and they were in the middle of the playing field, and because they were the Deming Loggers and got second in the nation in their semi-pro teams. So anyway, that was 1977, I think, something like that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. The answer is. Hold on. Sorry, I put my sheet away and I shouldn't have. Okay. Answer is Larry Bird. Nicknamed the Hick from French Lick and Larry Legend, Bird is widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
And French Lick is close to St. Meinrad, where I went to seminary. It's actually across the river from Louisville, Kentucky.
Ah.
Interesting.
Okay, 2 more. I'm educated. 450. Hold on, I gotta. I should have practiced this one. Nephilococcosigia is the practice of doing what? Nephilococcosigia.
That's a pretty good guess. That's what I would have guessed. Okay, Father Carlos, what is your favorite Christmas birth narrative in the Gospels?
I'm gonna have to go with probably one of the most populars, and that's Luke. I really like the emphasis on Mary. So Luke.
Father Gary.
Yeah, if we're sticking with the birth narratives, yeah, right. Yeah, Luke would be it. It's the one that's the most Christmas cardish. Has all those wonderful scenes.
Yeah.
The angels and yeah.
I definitely, and Charlie Brown and all that, love Luke, love Mary's, yes, love all that. Because I hung out with Ronner for a decade, I definitely have a Christology from above, and the prologue to John's Gospel, I don't think is beaten in anything I've ever read anywhere. And it's not really a birth narrative.
It's not.
In the sense that the synoptics are, but the depiction of our relationship to Christ in creation, God's intention that Christ was always going to come into the world, all of that is, yeah, can't be beat for my money.
Okay. How would you pronounce this, Padre?
Well, I was trying to sound it out as best I could. Nephalocogia, I think would be. I don't know. Nephalocogia. No, there's no L in the second part of it. Nephalocogia.
How much wood would a woodchuck chop?
Yeah.
I used to do theater, so we had to do all of these different exercises before we, one of them was red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah, to get you to enunciate.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah.
Or the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue. Over and over.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Getting close. 2 more. We're getting near the end of our game.
I know. Who won?
No. Okay. So Nephalacogia is the practice of finding shapes in clouds. So as you can see, we've got a bunny, an elephant, a dog, I'm pretty sure that one's Photoshop, and a dragon. So I'm sure, did you ever do that as a kid? I'm sure everybody
does.
Oh
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
I just want to say I really enjoyed all of your answers for this question.
Oh, I need to look at those answers later on.
Oh, you didn't give us the background on that though, Father Carlos.
That's right. So the word was first coined in the play The Birds, written in 414 BC by the Greek comic poet Aristophanes. So,
who wrote the clouds? That's interesting. He wrote clouds. That's one of the things he wrote.
Mm-hmm. All right, Father Gary, take us to our final question.
Oh, wow, this is so exciting. All right, trivia question on the Feast of Saint Agnes. Lambs are blessed and then shorn to fashion what ecclesiastical garment? On the Feast of Saint Agnes, lambs are blessed, then shorn to fashion what ecclesiastical garment?
Okay, Father Carlos, what is your favorite hymn?
My favorite hymn, Aquinas' Pange Lingua.
Oh,
wow.
Good.
Wow, I would not have guessed that. Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Good pick.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is
And
beautiful.
again, it takes me back again to my conversion experience.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Father
So-
Gary, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, mine is Gift of Finest Wheat. Are
uh,
you familiar with that one?
Yes.
You satisfy the hungry hearts. I remember falling in love with that song. It was fairly new when I was at Mount Angel, because it came from the Eucharistic Congress in Philadelphia, I think in 1976, I want to say. But anyway, I just loved all the phraseology that's in it and the music itself. And I made sure it was included in my Mass of Thanksgiving. So yeah, one of my favorites.
yeah. How are you, Katie?
So I love, of course, we all love Schubert's Ave Maria. That's still like, will send chills down my spine when it's sung well. There's another one that I love by Allegri called Miserere Me Deus that is sung primarily during Holy Week. That is really, I heard it for the first time at St. Mark's in Shoreline about 5 years ago, and it was stunning to me. That's one of my favorites. But right now we're listening to the cool stylings of In Sync. So I remember when this song came out and I was in high school, I was like, even in high school, I was like, this is cheesy. even at 16 or 17, I still think this is cheesy.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
Still waiting. Okay.
Ecclesiastical garment.
I actually got to go to the Church of St. Agnes when I was on sabbatical in Rome. And one thing that I learned about St. Agnes is that she was really dedicated to youth. So, Amy, that might be something important for you to know about St. Agnes. Very dedicated to youth.
You don't see many Agneses these days. I don't know that many.
It's an unusual, it's not a name you hear often.
Yeah. She's now deceased, but I had a cousin whose name was Agnes. In my big extended family, my dad was the 9 boys and 2 girls, and then my grandpa's brother, he had 8 girls and 2 boys. So we were the boys enders, they were the girls enders. So Agnes was one of the girls enders.
That's a tough name for a kid to pull off.
Yeah. Oh, we got everyone. Do we?
One more.
One more. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, in I think it was 1941, my grandpa and his brother bought these great big Oldsmobile cars, and so the Oldsmobile dealership in Bellingham took a picture with my dad's family all lined up, all the 11 kids, the 9 boys and 2 girls, and then my great uncle Henry's family with the 8 girls and 2 boys. And they said, if an Oldsmobile is good enough for the Zender families, it should be good enough for you. So it's like, look at all these kids and they haul them around in these cars.
All right. What would be the answer, Padre?
So the answer is the pallium. So there it is, a very good picture of the pallium. And we see Archbishop Aitchen receiving it. He just received it last July at the cathedral. So he actually received it instead of from the Pope, from the apostolic delegate. Archbishop Pierre Christophe. Saint Agnes, whose name means lamb in Latin. So Agnus Dei, from the Mass. So she was a young girl when she consecrated her virginity to God and is usually depicted as carrying a lamb in her arms. Since she is mentioned in the Roman canon, her association with the pallium is an important symbol of unity with the successor of Peter. So that's why the metropolitan archbishops get the pallium. It's a sign of unity with the Pope. So usually it is the Pope that gives the pallium. When the sheep during the blessing of the lambs, one lamb wears a white crown symbolizing the saint's purity, and the other lamb to wear a red crown, emblematic of her martyrdom. And when the sheep are shorn in the summer, religious sisters will collect the wool and use it to weave the palliums, which are white stoles with 6 black crosses worn by archbishops to show their unity with the Pope and their apostolic authority. The vestment goes back to at least the 5th century. So when I was in Rome in 1998 and went to St. Agnes's, so that would have been the year that the sheep were shorn and the palliums were woven. And then it was the next year that I went to, no, I'll take that back. Forget it. No, it was reversed. Sorry about that. But anyway, the first time I saw the pallium placed was for Archbishop Burnett. I saw that in Rome. So anyway, it's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our game.
Oh,
So,
I'm gonna stop here.
Father Carlos, do you need another minute?
Almost.
Okay, so we actually have a tie for 3rd place.
Whoa.
We have a tie-breaking question, correct, Father Carlos?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Tie for
Did you
3rd
guys,
place. That's
did you
pretty
guys have
impressive.
fun? This is super fun, huh? I'm glad we did it.
Oh gosh, yeah. Team Miracles, you got thumbs up. The 3 of us. The Costa Disciples. I like these names. Team Blackhawk, Fighting Irish. Of course, that is no surprise that you go with Fighting Irish, Gary and Terry. Sure, there are lots more too.
Okay, so we're just, for those who are
Bethel.
watching on YouTube, we're just coming up with that tie-breaking question right now for that 3rd place tie, and then we'll finish up.
Saint Isaac. These are some fun names here.
All right, I'm gonna show you an image and give you the question. Okay. Here we go. Share screen. So the question is, this is the device for the very first vending machine. What does this vending machine dispense?
It's like something that came off the ship at Roswell. Like, what even is that? Oh my goodness. So Father Gary, Father Carlos was telling me that you guys had decorated in the rectory.
Yes, yeah, we started a little earlier this year than normal. I think everyone needs a little cheer this year more than any other time probably. So yeah, we did. Looks pretty nice. Father Carlos went out and bought a little tree and lights, and we got it all up and going, and it looks pretty neat. I like it.
Great.
Have you done any decorating yet, Katie?
Yeah, we had Thanksgiving weekend, and then I also took some vacation last weekend too. So I kind of went nuts and really went all out. Everything is white and silver though. I didn't do any red and green, but it looks really pretty. It looks really pretty. So yeah, I felt like if ever there was a year you needed to decorate and make things feel festive,
yep,
this was a year to do that. So
yep, definitely.
My little puppies followed me around while I was doing it the whole time, though. They were underfoot.
Okay. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to this. I'm curious to see what the answer is. Carlos, do any of the pets downstairs, do they get any Christmas decorations do you put anything on their tanks or anything?
No, I keep them naturalistic. I'm not big into tanks with even fish tanks with like a sunken ship or something like that.
Yeah.
I like them as naturalistic as possible because that gives them the greater chance of displaying their natural behavior.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
What does that say about us? We get all excited about Christmas lights.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be really a tough one. We just have to take a total stab in the dark.
Well, you nobody gets it, and we still have to break a tie.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're gonna say, guess how many fingers I'm holding behind my back.
What movie is that? A Vegas Vacation, National Lampoons?
Yeah.
It was Casino, Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yeah. Do you guys ever put lights on the outside of the rectory or anything like that?
Haven't done that yet. No. The closest is there's a Christmas wreath that has lights on it, but it needs batteries, and the batteries go really fast on it. So I usually wait until it's really close to Christmas to put batteries in the wreath that's on the front door.
So we're just answering a question real quick from the scorekeeper. Okay, so.
Oh, you got it?
So the two teams that are
tied for third?
Are basically gave the same answer.
We're still tied.
Is what Amy's saying. So, okay. What do you think, Father Carlos?
Let me give the answer for this one, and we'll go from there. So I really want to see the answer for this one, so we'll do that first. So this is the first vending machine. It was created by Hero of Alexandria. He was a Greek engineer and mathematician who lived in the 1st century, who introduced this vending machine. For a very small fee, you could purchase your very own holy water. So a coin was dropped from the top to the top slot, and it would fall into this pan, which was attached to a lever. So the weight of the coin would make the lever go down, which made holy water flow out. And eventually the coin would fall out, the lever would go back up, and then the water would stop flowing. So.
Oh my gosh.
So actually, we don't have a tie.
Nope.
Nope. Wait, hold on. Let me double check. Nope. Actually, we don't have a tie. We had someone get that exactly.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yep.
Oh gosh. Wow. I wouldn't have guessed it. So now we know where indulgences came from, huh?
Yeah. Oh, good idea though.
It goes way back to the 1st century.
Okay, so Father Carlos, do you want me to announce the winners?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect, I guess.
In 3rd place, we have the Pikachu Rangers.
Yay!
Congratulations, Pikachu Rangers.
So I'm just writing this down so that we remember. And then in 2nd place, we have Fighting Irish.
Hey, Fighting Irish. All right.
Awesome. And in 1st place, we have Aaron Gobra.
Aaron Gobra. All right.
Yay.
All right. That's excellent.
Well, we hope everyone had a really good time, just us hanging out together. Hopefully this can be something like it would be for us to be together. But thank you again for all who joined, all who played, made and all the work that went into this. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. So we will work on getting your gift cards to you. I will be hopefully receiving those this week and sending those out. I'll send them out to the team leader so you can distribute them to the team. So congratulations to the winners. Thank you so much for everyone playing. Thank you, Amy, for all the work behind the scenes, and Father Gary and Father Carlos for co-hosting.
All right. God bless everyone. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Hey.
Okay. God bless everyone.
Good night. Good night. All right. Well, that was pretty good, huh?
Okay. Let's get Katie to stop the YouTube live. Let me make sure she was able to do that.
Okay.